Hi, and welcome to a special edition of Harding Football with Ronnie Huckeba, National Signing Day this week. And Coach, it's great to be with you as always, and I'm excited to hear about the 2014 group as far as their recruiting, and I know you're excited to talk about them.
Absolutely, Billy, and it's good to be with you again too. I can't start talking about this recruiting class without talking about our current players, because the state of our program right now really dictated the way we recruited this year. And also, our current players have done such a fantastic job. We tell people when we are in the process of recruiting that Harding is a great place. We've got outstanding facilities. It's a wonderful place to get an education. But what really makes it special are the relationships. And our players, anytime we have a recruiting visit, they are so intentional about meeting our recruits and their families, and it's not something that we have to force on them. That's just the kind of kids they are. And we have got fantastic young men in our program right now that we're so proud of, and we have a very deep team coming back. So as we went into this recruiting season, we talked about the fact that we are going to be extremely selective with this class. Probably not going to sign as many kids as we have in the past, but we're going to make sure that we get the cream of the crop. And when you start looking at the character of these young men that we signed, the academic preparation that they have, the kind of athletes they are, we've got kids that have been multiple team captains. It's just really, really impressive, and we're so proud of them and proud to welcome them into the Bison family.
And we're going to have a chance to look at highlights from the players as we go down the list, and we start with Sam Blankenship from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Sam Blankenship is an unbelievable get for us. Sam plays at Tulsa Union High School, which is one of the top programs in the United States. They are perennial state finalists in the largest classification in Oklahoma. Sam is a young man that is a fantastic student. He's the FCA president at his school. He's long for a linebacker. He's a 6'2" guy that can run, very aggressive. He comes from a fantastic football pedigree. His uncle Bill Blankenship is head football coach at Tulsa University. So we felt like when we were able to recruit Sam that we really got the perfect fit for us as far as a young man that will do well at Harding, on the field, in the classroom, and be a great representative for us off campus.
The next name we're very familiar with Cole Blickenstaff.
Exactly, and it's amazing that in this class we have two young men that we signed that are third-generation Bisons. That means their grandpa played here, their daddy played here, and then now they've signed to play here. And Cole is a young man that we've watched grow up. He's been in our camps. When we were able to evaluate him, he had tremendous lateral quickness. His 5.10.5 shuttle is one of the best we've ever had at any of our camps. He's a very versatile athlete. As you can see, he played some quarterback, he played receiver, he played defensive back. Cole's one of these guys that does everything in high school, from football to basketball to track. He is not through growing yet, I'm convinced, and we're going to start him off at slot. Probably give him a look at wide receiver also, and just really expect big things from Cole. And he's another one, top of the line character.
And next on the list, Bryce Bray from right here in the state, from Rogers.
Bryce Bray is from Rogers, Arkansas. We started recruiting Bryce a long time ago. Rogers is unique in that it runs the triple option just like we do. And Bryce is a center, and we really wanted to, that was one of the priorities on our offensive line, is to bring in a center. And to have one that already knows how to do the things that we do in our offense is just a blessing. Bryce is proficient at making the snap to a quarterback who's under center. He knows how to get that ball extended, which is important in the flex bone. He's very, very aggressive coming off the football, as you can see on these clips. He plays with a mean streak, and but he's a great student, leader on his team. He was voted the MVP of the football team, which that tells you a little bit about him as far as how his teammates respect him as a center. So he's an all-state guy, as both of the previous two were. first team All-State. So we feel very, very fortunate to have Bryce in this signing class. He's another one from a football family. Yeah. You know, his dad is the offensive line coach there at Rogers, and also played in the old AIC at Arkansas Monticello. So we're fortunate to get Bryce.
And Dwayne Carter hails from Florida and played junior college football in Kansas.
Dwayne is an interesting story. We recruited Dwayne out of high school, and he had a lot of Division I stuff going on. He was actually placed at Independence, Kansas by Florida Atlantic, and of course they had a coaching change this year, and you know, that actually worked in our favor. We were able to get Dwayne in January. He is a very powerful back. He's the all-time leading rusher at Navarre High School, and that's in the Pensacola area. His numbers in the weight room are off the chart. You know, when somebody tells you got a running back that benches 450 pounds and squats 600, well, first you're going to want to see it. We're in there in the weight room the other day. One of my coaches came up and said, "Coach, I just watched him sit down, and he's repping, you know, 405." Wow. And you know, this is a very talented young man, you know, who's going to get in the mix at B-back with Romo and Petty, and that's going to give us that's going to give us a great competitive position.
And Jalen Evans is next on our list from just outside of Dallas and Garland, Texas.
Yeah. Of course, you know, these guys that have come from the big 5A programs in Texas, you know, like Jalen was first team all-district wide receiver and defensive back. And, you know, the number of kids at the schools where he, you know, in his district are unbelievable, the level of football. And, you know, he's just a really dynamic football player. He's one of those guys that, you know, he makes it happen on both sides of the ball. We feel like we're fortunate to get him in our program. Really looking forward to getting him in the black and gold, and he's not going to have to make much of a switch because the Garland High School colors are black and gold also. But you can see, you know, Jalen is one of those kids that's going to have a chance to make an impact on both sides of the ball. We'll just have to see where he ends up.
And back, we were talking about Rogers a few minutes ago, and now we go to Heritage High School and Brandon Gates.
Right. Brandon Gates is another one that's, you know, this young man was voted team captain his sophomore, junior, and senior year. And, you know, that kind of leadership is what makes your teams special. You know, Brandon rushed for 1,700 yards his senior year in high school. He rushed for over 3,000 yards in his career. You know, he is a very versatile back. He's a B-back. He might be a slot. You know, he is definitely a guy that you want to get the ball in his hands. He catches the ball great. Super student, super leader at his school. And you know, he is just another one of those kids that's just top notch, and we're just so proud to get him into our program.
We go to Louisiana on the next player, and Akeem Henderson, and you can look at a lot of accolades and championship football that he has played. Right.
Akeem has won 2 straight state championships. Actually, they didn't win it this year. They won it his sophomore, junior year. They went 30-0 those 2 years. You know, OCS is coached by Stephen Fitzhugh, who's an old Bison. OCS was my last coaching job before I came to Harding in 1986. Still have strong connections there. Akeem is a guy that made a lot of noise on the offensive side of the ball. He has got outstanding speed. He is the state champ in the 200 meters, ran on the relay teams at Ouachita Christian. And you know, we see him as a defensive back. He's an all-state player. He's going to play in the Louisiana High School All-Star game, and you know, he is the taller defensive back that probably can play safety or corner. And you know, when in a perfect world, you have your safeties that can cover like corners in today's football, and we're just really excited about getting Akeem in our program.
The next player that we'll talk about is another kid from Texas, McKinney, Texas, and Prosper High School, and Marquez Houston.
Marquez is a guy that's been to our camps. We've had a connection with him for, you know, ever since last summer. Wonderful young man, super high character, and you know, he has got tremendous vision and balance, as you can see from these highlights. Runs through tackles, makes a lot of yards after contact. And you know, Marquez is one of those guys, when you look at his size, you know, 5'8", 180, you say, okay, he's a slot. But when you watch his highlights, you're like, man, I'm not sure this guy can't play B-back. So he's another one of these guys that we think could play, a couple of positions for us on offense. And our goal is to make every single position that we have as competitive as we possibly can. And our kids know that. Our kids in our program know that. They know that we're always going to try to recruit somebody that's going to come in there and challenge them, because we believe that's what makes a healthy situation on your football team. And you can see just from the skill kids that we've already talked about that we are in the process of doing that.
And we stay in the state of Texas, and Larry Hill from Cedar Hill High School in Cedar Hill, Texas. Anybody
that knows anything about Texas high school football has heard of Cedar Hill. They are the state champs this year in Class 5A. And, Larry is a extremely powerful young man. He's, 5'9", 211 pounds, really good burst, makes great little subtle moves when he's running the ball inside, but he's got the speed to go outside. Gets behind his pads, breaks tackles, and this guy right here was a real steal for us. We felt like had a lot of Division I interest throughout his senior year, and we were able to get him. Coach Luke Tribble did a great job of recruiting Larry, got him on campus, fell in love with him and his family, and we're just tickled to death. He's going to get in there and make that B-back position really, really competitive.
And we stay in Texas. John Aaron Howell from Liberty Christian High School, another all-state player in Texas.
Another all-state player, another third-generation Bison. John Aaron's dad, Eric, played football here, and I was fortunate enough to coach him. His grandfather, Ronnie Howell, played football here back in the 60s. And, John Aaron is a very, very talented kid. He was voted in the Denton, Texas area, the #1 two-way player in that entire area. And, John Aaron is another one that made a lot of noise on offense, as you can see from these highlights. But, we see him as a defensive player for us. Very talented, great explosion, great speed. This class is full of guys that can run, and this is another one that can. So we are really, really excited about getting John Aaron in the family.
I know you're excited about these next two guys, both from Cabot High School, and Heath Pledger and Keith Pledger.
When Coach Malham calls me on the phone and says, Coach, I've got the best two kids that I've ever had as far as being a fit for Harding. And, we've had some pretty good Cabot football players here. L.J. Tarrant, Nicole Lockwood, Riley Hawkins, Cam Boatwright, Nathan Cash. We've got good players from Cabot. And when he says, these guys are, the top of the line, and, these guys are bigger kids, they're 6'1", 6'2", 280, 270 pounds. And, you can see that there's not much highlights there on Heath, but I can tell you that, if you go watch these guys play in person, you will see play after play after play where they are dominating the line of scrimmage. Heath was first team All-Arkansas by the Arkansas Democrat Gazette, and Keith was voted the most valuable offensive lineman on his team. So that gives you a little idea of the quality that we're getting with these two kids. They're both on the National Honor Society. When you call them up, they're always working. They come from a working family that understands work ethic. These guys have great character, and when you take Bryce Bray, Heath Pledger, and Keith Pledger and plug them into our offensive line, the future looks really, really bright for that position group. And now we move down to the state of Alabama, C.J. Tolbert. This is an interesting story how we got on C.J. We hired Matt Underwood to come in and coach with us in January, and he is from. Matt has roots in Florence, Alabama. His grandmother still lives there, and she either sent him a clipping or called him and said, hey, there's some kids here that are being honored in the state of Alabama that you ought to take a look at, and one of them was C.J. Tolbert. And C.J. is in Class 4A at Dadeville, Alabama, and he plays quarterback. This was his first year to play quarterback. He rushed for 1,500 yards and threw for about 1,100 yards, was responsible for a ton of touchdowns, finalist for Mr. Football in the state of Alabama, which is a pretty good state for football. And we just think he is a great fit to run our offense. CJ is going to be like a lot of these guys that have been a shotgun quarterback their entire career. He's going to have to come in and learn to take the ball from under center and do the stuff that a flexbone quarterback has to do. But from a talent standpoint, ability to throw the football, ability to make something happen when there's nothing there, he is a great fit for our offense.
And Bo Weddle, the last new Bison that we're going to talk about, and just down the road in Carlisle, a great kid.
Bo is coming from Bison to Bison, and Bo is a fantastic get for us. He played slot in a double wing offense in high school. Now they didn't run a lot of triple like we do, but Bo also played linebacker. He's an extremely physical player who can run. Fantastic student. He's the winner of the Paul Ills Award in the state of Arkansas, which tells you a little bit about the caliber of young man he is and the character that he's exhibited to the people that there in Carlisle and throughout the state. He can really fly. This year he was coming off of an ACL injury that kept him out of football his junior year, and he came back with guns blazing. I'm telling you, this kid is a really, really special kid, as are all of them. And the future just looks bright for Bo, and it looks bright for Bison football with the addition of these signees. And the other thing I'll say is that we, as always, we're not done recruiting. We're on some top-notch kids right now that we'll see what happens here in the next week or so. But in Division II, signing day comes and all the Division I's are done. But signing day comes in Division II. Sometimes we run into some of our best prospects after that because some of the kids were waiting on Division I offers, right up to the last minute and didn't get them. And I told our coaches yesterday, I said, I just want to make sure that we do not compromise anything on what kind of kid that we take, because we went into this recruiting season with the idea that we're going to be extremely, extremely selective. We're going to maintain that throughout the course of this recruiting season, however long it may last.
And Coach, when we came on, you mentioned the fact that the success that this program has had, particularly the last couple of years, coming off back-to-back 9-win seasons, played on national television last year, the playoffs 2 years ago, and a bowl game this year. How much does that help when you start talking about kids and coming to Harding and playing for the Bison?
It helps tremendously. The name recognition is as high as it's ever been. The number of emails, calls, and inquiries that we had about joining our football team this year was off the chart. But the success also is a factor in allowing us to be selective and make sure that we take the kids that are not only going to elevate us on the football field, but are going to elevate our culture, which we're very proud of and we're going to fight to defend, and be great fits at Harding University. And the great thing about this class is I think that we met that with every kid that we recruited.
Coach, great to be with you, to look back at all the kids, and can't wait. Spring football's right around the corner, and it'll be fall, and the Bison's back on the field before you know it.
We start spring ball February the 24th, so be here before you know it if we can get any weather.
All right, Coach. Best of luck. Have a great spring.
Thanks, Billy. Appreciate it.
That's all for this special edition of Harding Football with Ronnie Huckeba. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Harding Football with Ronnie Huckeba.